Alright guys, welcome to another video. So I am about a kilometer down the trail from Shadow Lake right now at the Shadow Lake campground, or backcountry campground, and it looks like we're gonna have a nice solo trip. So you guys know how much I like being solo in the backcountry like this, but I'm not doing too bad this time. It's not at all like Turbine Canyon. I definitely feel a lot more confident in my abilities in that, but it is kind of interesting. And yeah, so I'm kind of interested to see how it goes. We've got very, very weird weather happening today. There's big open spots. It's nice, bright, and sunny, as you can kind of tell by the blown out background behind me. But it is lightly snowing and kind of chilly. So it's kind of an interesting day. It's a really nice fall day. A lot of the colors have gone from Banff National Park now, because we're still, well, I guess it's only the first weekend of October, but we are starting to get closer to winter in Banff. So I don't know how much of that I'm going to get, but the main reason I'm here is to shoot Shadow Lake. And really the only reason I chose to do this one over any other trip this weekend is because from the Google image that I saw, or like the Google Street View thing that I saw, there's this nice little bridge that goes over the outflow of Shadow Lake, and if you set up on that bridge, you can shoot this peak off in the distance. And I meant to look up the name of the peak, but I, for some reason, didn't. And it seemed like such a nice composition. That's my main goal for out here tonight and tomorrow morning. And yeah, so the main thing I want to do is just kind of explore around Shadow Lake. I'm about, I think, 10 or 15 kilometers north of Egypt Lake right now, so where we were in the most recent videos I did, and so I'm still kind of in the same area of the world, same topographical region, I guess. So it's kind of interesting. And the other thing is this is another one of those campgrounds that I came through with cadets. I think I'm pretty sure it is. It looks like it's changed quite a bit recently. They've definitely moved the outhouse, and some of these pads, all the pads look pretty fresh. So it may not be the same campground I stopped in, but I know we stopped by Shadow Lake, so I'm kind of interested to see if any of those memories start to come back, because it'll be kind of a fun time. Alright, so I have to kind of check this under the Erie. Ooh, wow, that sun is really bright. But under that the Erie spectrum, because this is the Shadow Lake Lodge. Just basically a bunch of little huts that you can come and stay in out here. But they're all locked up and closed down. And it's kind of interesting. It's almost like being in a ghost town of like super classy high-end huts. But yeah. Looks like it'd be a pretty nice place to stay. The view is awesome. It's just, yeah, it's a nice big open, well, it's probably a marsh, but it's nice and open. There's no trees, as you can see right across to a whole bunch of mountains and that. So anyway, I don't quite know what time it actually is, so I think I'm gonna probably just go and eat my supper now while I've still got good light, and then kind of get everything ready to go so I can head over for sunset to Shadow Lake, and then that'll give me a few hours with a full stomach to kind of recon the area, see what I can find that'll be worth shooting. Alright guys, so like usual, when I start to get a little bit nervous, a little bit anxious about the situation I'm in, I like to talk to the camera because it seems to help relax me a little bit, just kind of keep me focused on the goal at hand. So, like I said earlier, I'm not as scared as I was when I was up at Turbine Canyon alone, because that was definitely a much more isolated, much more, I don't know, cut off place. Whereas here, there's cabins literally right there, so I don't feel too cut off, and I'm only about 12 or 13 kilometers from my truck, so I'm not too far. If something goes wrong in the night, I'm more than close enough to walk out, all that kind of stuff. So I don't really feel like the stress isn't that much, but there is something that goes along with kind of being alone in the backcountry. It's not even just being alone in America. It doesn't really matter whether you have wild animals or not around you. Being completely alone is one of those weird things. And the weirdest part about it is I'm a pretty big introvert. I don't generally like hanging around people. I pretty much do everything I can to avoid being around people. And oh man, I don't know how much that was. 360. Sorry, measuring and talking is very challenging. 360, so I want to do like 100. And yeah, so coming out, and I mean, my whole life I've lived in Calgary, which is a city of 1 million people. You don't really feel physically alone anywhere you go in Calgary. You know that there's always, I mean, you've got cell reception, so like if something goes wrong, you've got 911. There's just all those kind of, there's all those things that come along with city living that you don't really have to deal, or that you never really think about until they're suddenly gone. And so that's kind of what I deal with when I come out here and do this kind of stuff alone. Is it's not like I'm super afraid, like I want to go running back to my truck because I can't handle being out here. It's more of a case of I'm slightly uncomfortable in the situation I'm in. I will probably see you guys after supper as we get back on the trail and head towards Shadow Lake, because I don't think you guys really want to see me chowing down. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, it is definitely going to be an interesting night. We have super strong winds, heavy, thick clouds coming in. I predict a storm tonight, but I'm not gonna hold my breath. And well, actually, I don't know how to make this phrase sound good, but I'm not gonna assume it's gonna be a bad thing that I get a storm, because it might mean that I get a really good sunrise. But I'm coming up on that bridge I was talking about now, and the view's just about as good as I was hoping. Well, not right now. Let's see if it's blown out. Oh, a little bit. These peaks right here, great composition on them, but they've got quite a bit of cloud cover on them right now. So I think it's going to just take some waiting and some patience to get the shot here, but there definitely is a pretty sweet shot. Okay, so got the Nikon here set up on the tripod. Different tripod that I've been using the last few videos. You guys, you may have noticed it on my back earlier, but I decided not to bring my big Manfrotto tripod with a fluid head because I am just sick of carrying that thing while backpacking. It very quickly became a weight I was no longer willing to carry. So I'll probably still use it if I'm just doing a day hike or just kind of a short trip, just off the road kind of thing, because it's still a really good tripod and I love the fluid head and all that, but carrying it backpacking was just stupid. It was, yeah, and I don't know, I've cut about 2 or 3 pounds just going to this other tripod. So yeah, it was a short-lived thing, but still a good tripod. I just kind of learned my lesson about carrying a bunch of extra weight. And so yeah, I got the Nikon on with the ultra wide lens, shooting at about 16 mil, and there's nothing really to shoot right now. There definitely, if we get some good lighting either tonight or tomorrow, this is going to be an amazing location to be shooting at. It's just the problem right now is, let's see if I can stand up and kind of turn around here. Yeah, you can kind of see the reason it's all blown out up there is because the sun is directly behind these two peaks right now, which is making the clouds and all that glow super nicely, but it's just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of ends up looking muddied and the sky is super blown out while the shadows are all way too dark. And it's one of those things where even an HDR image wouldn't really help it all that much. So I'm just gonna kind of keep skirting around the lake, just playing with the different angles in that. And there's definitely a few other peaks around here that I'm gonna try shooting. I'm gonna have to throw them a long lens for that, but yeah, it's a very cool location and definitely has a lot of potential. Just need the environment to play along with the photography part of it, because yeah, it's it's a good spot. It's a dang good spot, and I am glad I came out here. So one thing I'm kind of deciding right now is that this is definitely not going to be a sunset location. I'm gonna need to come back here for sunrise for sure. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And so yeah, it's like I've said a few times, it's a very nice location. And once the sun starts coming up, because like I said, the sun's going right down behind those mountains. When it comes up on the opposite side, it's going to nicely illuminate those two peaks in the middle. Hopefully the one kind of right on the edge there that you guys have seen a few pictures of already. And then, yeah, it should just make the area quite a bit nicer. I mean, especially if the wind dies down in the morning, which I don't have my hopes up for that, because usually the wind sticks around for a little while, for like a couple days or so. So we're probably not going to get saved from that, but it would be super nice if the lake could go nice and like glassy smooth. But yeah, it's definitely a location. If it doesn't work out this time, I can always come back another time, preferably when there's more people up here. But yeah, it's not a bad spot. We are starting to get pretty close to sunset. We got only about like half an hour or so until the sun actually sets, so color in that should start coming in sometime soon if it's gonna come. And yeah, so quick check there. Then if there's nothing super interesting, heading back to the campground, and I'll just kind of start getting to that relaxed evening mode and just kind of watch around there. I've got a pretty good view from the campground and from those cabins of stuff to shoot, so I'm not too worried about missing out. And I mean, this is, like I said, this is definitely a sunrise location, so being out here, staying out here overnight was all kind of necessary in order to get the sunrise shot that I want. So whether it happens or not, I'm in it for the long haul now. Alright guys, good morning. So we're doing some of this awesome morning video where you get the lines going up and down, because the refresh rate of the camera is different than the refresh rate of the light, and it's just super high production quality here on Morganhurst Photography. Anyway, so I'm standing beside Shadow Lake. You guys can't see it, I can't see it. I honestly have no idea where am I facing right now. Okay, so yeah, Shadow Lake, you can't even see my hand, is back there. We've got pretty much clear skies behind me. You can't even see my hands, gosh darn it. But yeah, so pretty much clear skies around those peaks I was shooting yesterday back there. And then like directly above me, all clear. And then there's just some low-hanging clouds stuck on attached to the peaks of the two mountains that we were looking at yesterday. So we've definitely got a super good setup for sunrise. Now I just gotta wait for that nice color on that all to come in. And I'm definitely going to go out on that bridge that we were on yesterday, and that's probably where I'm going to shoot sunrise from, just because it's so far it's been the best composition I've been able to find out here, or at the lake here. I got about 40 minutes till the color should start coming in. So I'm going to eat some breakfast, make a coffee, and wait patiently out of the wind as much as I can. Alright guys, so sunset's kicking off here. Well, it started kicking off a little while ago, but you guys were recording a real nice time lapse for me. So, oh, it's wind. Okay, I took my gloves off because I was working with the camera and out of the wind, and now that I'm back up on the bridge, it's super windy and cold. But yeah, you can't see back there because it's all blown out. Geez, where am I here? There we go. So you can see there's actually some nice colors starting to come in on the mountain that I'm shooting at here. We're not getting a super bright, colorful, explosive sunrise, but we are getting some nice, soft, faint pinks in the clouds in that. So it's definitely a good sunrise. No doubts about that. And oh, there's some little ducks in the lake. I didn't see them before. But yeah, so it's just a super. It's a warm, soft pink kind of sunrise, not super explosive. So this is the type of sunrise I really like shooting too. Probably more than the super explosive ones, because I can just kind of focus on my one subject, take the time to get some really good, smooth shots of them. And I don't really have to worry about shooting clouds and all those other kinds of things that you can see that start to come up. But yeah, it's a pretty good morning so far. I finished the coffee. Wasn't as bad as it was on Healy Pass. It's the same coffee, just maybe I don't know. Maybe I didn't make it as strong this time. I don't know what it was, but it actually tasted pretty good. And yeah, so I'm just got my eye on this mountain here, and I'm just kind of watching and waiting for things to slowly change. So we're not getting super dramatic lighting. I don't think we're going to get any super dramatic lighting today, but we are definitely going to get some nice soft tones that are going to add some really good contrast just to all the little cracks and crevices and to some of the little avalanches that have happened so far. Basically, I've been shooting all my photos this morning at 2 seconds, or well, for the past little bit anyway. I've started at about 30 seconds when it was still blue hour. Now I've kind of moved into a pretty consistent 2-second exposure. And what I'm really trying to do right now with all these rocks in the foreground, and I'll get some B-roll of it so you guys can understand what I'm talking about, but at the outflow of the lake here, there's just a ton of small exposed rocks everywhere, and they're creating a really good foreground interest, and they make the water still enough that you can get some good reflections of the mountains in the distance. So I'm really focusing on that, trying to keep my exposure nice and long so it smooths that out, and I do get a little bit of reflection. So it's just all about playing around right now. The one thing I don't like about this shot from the bridge here is that the peak, not the main two peaks that are in the back, but this front one, or the one that's a little bit closer right here, I don't have the great angle on it. So where I'm standing now is a little bit better than where I've been shooting, but the hard part is kind of balancing the main two peaks with that peak, because it's a little bit more prominent, because it's not covered in clouds and all that kind of stuff. It stands out a little bit better than the main big powerful peaks. So it's kind of I've been kind of going back and forth trying to find good angles on all these mountains, and yeah, it's really just a playing around time. And that's one of the things that's really nice about these kind of slow, soft sunrises, is that I've got tons of time with this kind of even equal lighting to shoot and get good images in that. So I'm going to stop talking for a bit and go back to trying to photograph these peaks and get work on my composition, get good angles, all that kind of stuff. So if I don't talk for a bit, that'll be why. But I will definitely try and focus on shooting some B-roll, because I'm really bad for that, especially when it's sunrise like this and I'm focused on doing the photography part of it. So yeah, I'm gonna jump back into it now. Alright guys, super quickly here, we are getting some little bit of explosive stuff. The battery on this camera is about to die, so I can't do a lot of talking, but I'm going to grab my Nikon, come over here, do a quick shot down the lake here with a long exposure, and that's what's happening. Alright, battery's about to die. Wow, that was all really bad luck and bad timing on my part, but I was trying to shoot that way because I thought that I was going to have a couple seconds there, and I didn't. So basically what happened while I was trying to scream into the camera there was that behind me to where the sun is rising, we got some really nice explosive color. It was reflecting beautifully in the outflow of the lake here. So I went a little ways down the bridge here to try and get a shot of it. While I was trying to do that, I tried to pick up this camera, do a little bit of talking, explaining why I was shooting over there, and the battery was about to die, so I quickly did that quick ramble. And then while I was shooting over there, my actual main subject got the beautiful pink light on it. So luckily it was sorry, I'm a little bit of a caffeine high right now, and adrenaline's kind of going. But while I was shooting over there, I snapped the shots, turned around, saw that was happening, so I did get a shot over there that I think turned out pretty cool. And then I grabbed a tripod, came running back over here, got set up, got everything all good to go, threw the wide angle lens back on, and then yeah. Oof. Then, well, the Nikon was doing its thing, shooting pictures of this beautiful pink lighting. I booked it back over, grabbed a fresh battery for the Canon here, and we're all good to go. You guys are all caught up on what's happening. So yeah, definitely that was definitely an adrenaline-filled moment. I'm a little bit shaky right now, and oh man, the caffeine from the coffee has kicked in real hard, and my head is buzzing a little bit. But dang, I definitely. Oh man, yeah, no, going through the shots here. There's some sweet stuff. Even the quick ones I snapped facing that way. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful, just with those glowing red clouds. And I mean, I got the wide angle lens on just quick enough to capture the pink light on this, and to catch a little bit in the foreground rocks and the reflections. So I got dang lucky on that one. But yeah, I did not think we were gonna get that this morning, but we did. We got some sweet stuff. I'm kind of disappointed. Nothing on that lower front peak that I've talked about a few times. We didn't really get anything super good, any like pink or anything like that. But I mean, it's the pink light. The pink light definitely made the peaks in the background the main subject. It made them pop a little bit more. So I'm super glad about that. It's definitely going to take a little bit of cropping in Lightroom to get the images perfect because, like I said, I set up pretty quick and was just kind of snapping pictures. But yeah, no, I definitely can say we got something pretty good here.